Hello learners, in this lecture we will see how the flakiness and the elongation index test has to be done. So why this test has to be done? Because we already seen that whenever we use coarse aggregate, we always make sure that we are either using an angular aggregate or we are using a rounded aggregate. And we have seen that the flaky aggregates and elongation aggregates are not used in the construction unless they are within the limit. Now how to find that within the limit, that we are going to understand with the help of the test called as flakiness and the elongation, right? So to understand that, this test is used to determine the particle shape of the aggregate and each particle shape being preferred under the specific condition. The degree of packing of the particle of one size depends upon their shape. Due to the high surface area to the volume ratio, the flaky and the elongated particles lower the workability of the concrete mix. So actually what happens, since flaky aggregates and the elongated aggregates, they are going to have a large surface area, right? So this is elongated, they are going to have a large surface area. So per volume, if this is a cylinder what I have, and let us say you have all flaky or and the elongated aggregates, then what will happen, the surface area is more. If the surface area is more, then what is going to happen, the workability will be more. Since it's a rough surface area, the workability is going to come down, right? So and for this particular volume, you are putting very less amount of aggregate here. So that is why it is written here, due to high surface area to the volume ratio, the flaky and the elongated particles lower the workability of the concrete mix. Next point is that flaky and elongated aggregates are considered undesirable for the base course construction as they cause weakness with the possibility of breaking down under the heavy loads. So we'll try to see what is this base course. Now we'll try to see this is how it looks. Okay. So usually for the construction of the road and all, no, we want to check all this flakiness and the elongation index test, right? So coming to the layer, it is something is written here, no, it's called as base course. So this is how it looks. So these are the different layers of a road. If you have seen the normal bitumen road, you can see it here as well, right? So when you prepare a road something like this, these are the different layers what you get. So the first one will be a subgrade. Then after the subgrade, we are going to put the sub base, and after the sub base, we are going to put the base course. Then we are going to put the binder course, and then finally you are going to see that surface course what we see, that is a black bitumen what we see here, right? So these are the layers of the road. So what it was written here, flaky and elongated aggregates are considered undesirable for the base course. That is, this is my base course. So this is a base course here. So whenever you put the base course and all, we have to make sure that we are not using a aggregate which has a flaky and elongated aggregates in that. So this is the practical use of all this test. Now how this test has to be performed, we'll see that. So let us say I have an aggregate which falls in between 20 to 40 mm. I have taken some random size, and to find the mean size, how do you find the mean size of this 20 plus 4, 20 plus 40? You divide it by 2 because you want to find the mean of this. So I'm going to get 30 mm is a mean size, right? Now out of this sample, let us say I've taken a lot of sample. I'll take some samples here. Let us say I've taken some aggregates here. Okay. So out of these aggregates, there might be some flaky aggregates, there might be some elongated aggregates and on. And the mean size of this set of aggregates is somewhere, let us say 30 mm, right? So out of all these aggregates, out of this sample, there might be few aggregates here whose length and width will be same as a mean size, right? Out of this aggregate, there are few aggregates whose length and width will be almost close to 30 mm. That is the mean size of that. But the thickness and the length will but the thickness and the length will be deviate too much from the mean size. That is, but when you compare that with the thickness and the length, then what will happen, few of the aggregate will be even greater than 30 mm. So in that case, we consider them as a elongated and the flaky. So you can see it here, these are the elongated particles and these are the flaky or the flat particles what you can see, right? I've taken certain sample, that is why I've shown it here. Let us say I've taken 80, 40 and 20 mm sieve, and I've tried to pass them. As a result of that, few will be written on 40 mm, few will be written on 20 mm. That is why I've written it here 20 and 40. These are the to put it in a better way, I've shown it here, right? Yeah. So what exactly is this flakiness index? We'll try to see. It is a fraction of aggregate which are having their least dimension in the sense thickness less than 0.6 times the mean dimension of the aggregate sample, right? So that means what is the mean size we got in the previous case? So the mean size is 30 mm, right? Now if I want to say any aggregate is a flaky aggregate, then I have to do it in this way. That is, it is a fraction of aggregate which are having their least dimension, that is a thickness less than 0.6 times the mean dimension of the aggregate sample. That means we got the aggregate mean size is 30. 30 into you have to do zero point 0.6 times. So 30 into zero point 0.6, if I try to do, it comes out to be 18 mm. So which are, if any aggregate has a thickness less than 18 mm, then we consider this as to be a flaky aggregate. It is written here, it is a fraction of aggregate which is having their least dimension less than 0.6 times the mean dimension of the aggregate or the sample is called as a flaky aggregate. And how to check whether it is less than 18 mm or not? For that we have to conduct the flakiness index test. So again, the same thing I've written it here. You can go through this. Okay, the flakiness index of aggregate is a percentage by weight of a particles in which whose least dimension is less than 3/5. 3/5 comes out to be 0.6 of the mean dimension, right? So the presence of flaky particles in excess of 10 to 15% is generally considered undesirable. To do this test, what all is required? A standard metal thickness gauge, a balance is required, IS sieves are required from 63 mm to 6.3 mm. So how it has to be done? This is something called as thickness gauge. So you can see it here. So this is a gauge, what we call as thickness gauge, and the size is written here. Here you have to put 50 to 63 mm aggregates. Here you have to put 40 to 50 mm. Here it is 31.5 to 40. Then we have to put 20 to 25, 16 to 20, 25 to 16, and 10 to 12.5 size of the aggregates. You have to try to pass through that. Okay, this is how it has to be understood. See, yeah. So this particular slot what I have, no, so this particular slot is for 63 to 50 mm size of the aggregate, right? And how did this 33.90 has come? You try to add this, that is 63 plus 50. If you try to add it and if you divide it by 2, because I have to take the mean size of this, right? That is 63 plus 50. I'll divide it by 2. I'm getting 56.5. 56.5 is the mean size of this. Now if I want to find the flakiness index, I have to make sure, what is the definition of the flakiness index? It should be less than 0.6 times the mean dimension, right? 0.6 times. So mean dimension is 56.5. Now try to do this. That is 0.6 into 56.5. So I'm getting 33.9. So that is why you can see 33.9 written here. Similarly, you can try to do it for this as well. Here what has happened? 40 to 25 mm is written. No? What will be average of this? 40 plus 25 is 65, and half of 65 you have to do, right? So 65 divided by 2, if I do, I'm getting 32.5. So 32.5 is what? 32.5 is my mean size. And if I want to check whether my aggregate is flaky or not, for that I have to multiply this by 0.6. So if I multiply this by 0.6, I'm getting 19.5. So I'm getting 19.5. So in this way, we have to check, and that is why you don't have to do all these things. It will be written on the thickness gauge only, but we need to understand how these values are coming: 10.8, 13.5, 70 and all, right? Yeah. Now this is a thickness gauge. Next we'll try to see how the test has to be performed. Yeah. So actually what we do, we have to take minimum 200 number of aggregates. Each aggregates are passed through the corresponding opening one by one. That is minimum 200 mm. So those aggregates which will pass through this opening will have a thickness which is less than 0.6 times the mean size. Hence they are called as flaky aggregates. That means, let us say I've taken few aggregates and I have got a, let us say I've taken few aggregates here. Okay. And let us say I want to pass them through this particular slot, to this particular slot, and the aggregates what I have taken, no, they fall in the range of 25 to 40 mm. This is what it means, right? Out of these aggregates, what I'm going to do, I'll try to pass them through this particular thickness gauge, and if they're able to pass through that, that means they're flaky. That means their that means their thickness is less than 19.50. That is the reason they were trying to pass. So whichever aggregates has passed, no, I'll try to keep them here. I'll separate it out from this. Again, I'm going to take another aggregate from here. Each aggregate I have to take, I have to try to pass through this. If it is passing, then it is flaky and I have to keep it separately. If it is not passing, then they are not flaky, then we can use that aggregate in the construction, right? In this way you have to try to do it for everything. So that is the reason they have written it here. Actual procedure, that is, these are the different sieves that you require: 63 mm to 6.3 mm. And the same thing you can observe it here, right? See, it has started from 63 mm and the final slot what you can see is 6.3 mm. So these are the different sieve. It's the same thing. What you need to do, you have to make these sieves ready at the lab. All these 63 mm sieve, all these sieves you have to keep it ready and you have to do the sieving. And whatever is written on that particular sieve, no, you have to take it out from there and you have to try to pass through this. In this way, individually you have to do. So this is how the test has to be performed. Yeah. So thickness gauge is done. Yeah. Next, then the percentage of flaky aggregates with respect to the initial weight is called as flakiness index, right? So, or it is called as flakiness aggregate. So the flakiness index is equal to whatever aggregate is going to pass, that is called as flaky, divided by the original weight into 100. If you try to do, no, you're going to get the flakiness index. So the test procedure, the same thing, I've written it in the easy way. If you want to put it in terms of points, you can refer this. A sufficient quantity of aggregate is taken such that minimum 200 pieces of any fraction has to be tested. At least minimum 200 fractions you have to take, and 200 fractions you have to test, and only then you can say whether those aggregates are flaky or not, right? Yeah. So in this way, you try to write all these points, and the flakiness index is equal to total weight of aggregate passing through the various thickness gauge divided by the total weight of a sample taken, and then you multiply this by 100. You're going to get the answer in terms of percentage, right? So this is how they have done. See, these are the sieve sizes: 63 to 50, 50 to 40, 40 to 31.5, 31.5 to 25, 25 to 30, and so on. And this is the size of the slot of the thickness gauge. How do you find this? That is 63 plus 50. You divide it by 2, right? If I do that, 63 plus 50 divided by 2, yeah, I'll get 56.5. And for this 56.5, you multiply it by 0.6, so you're going to get 33.90. Same thing you do it here. So this thing you have to write, and then these are the mass of the aggregate retained on the sieves. Whatever aggregate is retained on the sieve, those things we have written it here all. And mass of aggregate passing through the sieves, we have written it here. That means what I'm trying to tell, we'll put it in a very simple way. Let us say you've done the sieving. Okay, once you've done the sieving on this particular sieve, okay, that is 50 to 63, 190 grams, right? This is in terms of gram. Yeah, 190 grams of aggregate was retained, and out of that you try to pass that through this particular slot of 33.90. And how many aggregates have passed through that, that total weight you have written is 190. Similarly, from this, yeah, let me delete this. Similarly, next you have taken another sieve, 50 to 40 mm. This is the size of a sieve, and through that you have passed, and you have got 420 grams of aggregate was retained on this sieve. And out of that 420 grams of retained, let us say these are the 420 gram, this much amount of aggregates you got. Now what you're going to do, this aggregates you're going to take, and you're going to pass that through a slot of 27 mm. This is 27 mm. How you're going to find? You have to go back to the thickness gauge. Let me quickly take you there. 27 is written here. So where is 27? Here. So through this thickness gauge, I'm going to pass my aggregates one by one. Minimum 200 you have to pass. One by one I'm going to pass. If they're passing through that, then what will happen? They are flaking. If it is not passing, we don't have issue with that. Those which are passing, no, that weight you have to take. Again, mass of aggregate passing through the thickness gauge. So once you started to pass everything and you have taken the weight of that, you have found 150 gram of aggregates have passed through that. So in this way, for each and every sieve you have to do. And finally, this W1 you are going to weigh. It comes out to be 10,000 gram. And here the mass of aggregate passing through the thickness gauge, it has come out to be 1210. Now how do you find the flakiness index? Flakiness index is equal to W2 divided by W1 into 100. That is 1210 divided by 10,000 into 100. It comes out to be 12.1%, right? That's it. Similarly, coming to the elongation index, it's the same procedure here, but here what we are going to do, here instead, yeah, we'll go back a bit. Yeah. Next is elongation index. So it is a fraction of aggregate in any sample which are having their greater dimension, that is a length 1.8 times the mean dimension. In the previous case, we should have multiplied that by 0.6, but for to finding the elongation index, we have to multiply the mean size with 1.8 times. To perform this test, we are going to use an instrument called as length gauge. So this is how the length gauge is going to look. You can see it here, written it here, length gauge, that is elongation index. And these are the different sieve sizes what we have here, right? We can see 6.3, 10, 12.5, 16, 20, 25, and 40. Yeah, so this is how it is written, and it's the same thing written here. You can see 81, then 50.5, then you have 40.5 written here, and so on. Let me, yeah, then how these things are coming, we'll try to do that. Give me a minute. Yeah, so how these answers are coming, see, so this is my thickness slot. What is a slot here? 50 to 40 mm. So take the average of this again. 50 plus 40, average will be divided by 2. So 50 plus 40 is 90. 90 divided by 2 is 45, right? So this 45 is my mean size. Now since I'm doing an elongation index test, I have to multiply this by 1.8. That is, multiply 45 into 1.8. If I try to do it manually, 45 into 1.8, it comes out to be 81. So this is that 81 slot, right? It's written 81 here. Similarly, try to do it for this. 20 plus 20, 25 plus 20 is 45. So 45 is my mean size. Sorry, 45 divided by 2 I need to do to get average. Yeah, 45 divided by 2 comes out to be 22.5. So 22.5 is my mean size. To find the elongation index, 22.5 into 1.8 is what I need to do. If I multiply this by 1.8, I'm getting 40.5. So you can see 40.5 is a slot written here. So in this way, all these calculations are done. You need to understand the formula for the elongation index. That's it. Yeah. So next, another thing you remember, when you pass the aggregate, you have to pass the aggregate along the length. See, this is how my aggregates is going to look, no? And this is the thickness gauge what I have. So this aggregate you have to pass along the length of that, right? But in the flakiness index, what we were doing, we were passing along the thickness. We were trying to pass through that along the thickness. Yeah, through the thickness. But here, lengthwise, you have to try to pass through this particular slot what we have, right? Yeah. So now we'll try to see the procedure for this. It again remains the same. Each aggregates are passed through the corresponding opening. That is, again, you have to take minimum 200 number. In the process, few aggregates are going to pass through that slot, and few aggregates are going to get retained. Those aggregates which will pass through the openings are not elongated, right? It's very simple. If the aggregates are passing through that means they are not elongated. But those aggregates which are retained, that means which are not passing through that particular slot, we call that as elongated. But whereas in the flakiness index, the one which was passing through that were flaky, right? We were not concerned with which was retained. But in case of elongation index, the one which is not passing, which is retained, we need to consider that. So then the weight of the retained aggregates are calculated. Again, the elongation index is equal to retained weight divided by the initial weight into 100. This is what you need to do, right? So it's the same thing. You can try to go through this to put it in a point was, if you want to write elongation index is so and so, and this is the apparatus what you require. Same thing, you require 63 to 6.3 mmcu, and this is the test procedure how you have to do it, right? Yeah. Coming to the, yeah, again, for the flakiness index, if you want to follow the procedure, you can follow this procedure as well. I already explained you. But if you want in terms of theory and all, you can try to write this apparatus and all. And this is how it is written. We already seen this calculation. Elongation index procedure is written here as well. You can copy from here. Yeah. Now coming to the elongation part, this is how they are written. 50 to 40, 40 to 25, 25 to 20, then 20 to 16, 16 to 12.5, 12.5 to 10, 10 to 6.3. This size of the slot for the length gauge, it is 81. We know how this 81 is going to come. 50 plus 40 is 90. 90 divided by 2 is 45, and 45 into 1.8, if you try to do, you are going to get 81. Again, whatever I explained for the flakiness, same thing you have to do here. That means you are going to take the aggregates which have been retained on 50 to 40 mmcu, and then whatever weight is retained, you are going to write, let us say 420 grams of weight has been retained, and out of that 420 grams, you'll try to pass them through this 81 number slot. So where is this 81 number slot? We'll see that. So this is my 81 number slot. So along the length of this, along the, let me do it, along the length, I'm going to pass my aggregate one by one. The one which is passing, we are not concerned. The one which is retained, we are going to collect it and keep it aside. In that way, we have to try to pass each and every aggregate. And once at one stage, once all the aggregates have been finished, you are going to get few aggregates which have been retained here. That means which were along, which were longer than 81 mm. So those aggregates you are going to weigh that, and those aggregates what you are going to weigh here, we are going to name them as W2. It's the same thing what they've written it here, right? So this is that 1220 you written here. Okay, they have written it as W4. It's okay. And then 940 30. This is W3 and this is W4. So flakiness index we already seen. For elongation index also you have to do the same thing. That is 2700 and divided by 9810 multiplied by 100, you are going to get 27.52%. So your flakiness index is 12.1, elongation index is 27.52%, but according to the Indian standard your value should fall in between 10 to 15%. So here the flakiness index is coming in between 15%, which is okay, but whereas elongation index has exceeded by 15%, so the percentage of elongated and flaky in excess of 10 to 15% are generally considered undesirable. From the obtained values, the aggregates are desirable as per flakiness index test, and it is undesirable as per the elongation, because since they are greater than 15%, you are getting 27.52%. So we consider that to be undesirable, right? Those aggregates we cannot use in the construction, right? So in this way, you need to understand this test. It's very simple, but the thing is the process is a bit lengthy. You have to go through this once again and you'll be able to understand it. Yeah. So we'll see you back in the next lecture. Thank you.